Welcome to In the Chambers of the Chambers by Alhad Oak. Today we have brilliant treat. We have Mr. Vyapak Desai, who is heading International Dispute Resolution and Investigation Practice at Nishith Desai Associates. I'm sure we'll have amazing insights from Vyapak, who is a very successful lawyer. Vyapak, thanks for joining In the Chambers of the Chambers. And usually the first question everybody asks is about, as a young student, how did you decide to pursue legal as a profession?
So I think thanks a lot first of all for inviting me on this excellent initiative that you are doing. I think it's not an easy task to do this alongside your profession, but coming back to the question, I think it was not like I thought about it right at the start of my student days or otherwise. It was more like following the heart. As usual, at that point in time in late 90s, it was only about either doing engineering or doing medical, pursuing masters of business administration and things like that. While I had some background and some family in the legal profession, but it never struck me as something that I should pursue. Being a good student, I originally did science stream, scored very well. In fact, I even took science in my 11th grade, and somehow the heart was not agreeing to what I was doing while I was doing well, and I was in a way I decided against every other advice that I got at that point in time, that in the 12th grade I straight away changed my stream from science to commerce. And everyone said that, look, everybody else would have done commerce in 10th and 11th, you are straight away going into boards, but somehow I just didn't agree with my decision of continuing with science, and I jumped into the commerce field. And then once I in fact scored very well in spite of that late decision in my 12th grade. And then when I joined college, while I wanted to pursue something in commerce, I also did chartered accountancy till a particular stage. But my heart was always, even while doing CI, I wanted to be a chartered accountant who goes to tribunals and argues, or who goes to high courts and argues tax matters, corporate law matters. And that drift took me along in pursuing law profession as a core subject, rather than the peripherals at that point in time, which were more attractive than law profession today. So that's how my journey was. It was not an easy journey, so to say, but I did manage to follow my heart, as I say. Thank you.
So first entry into law firm, back then, was it easy to get entry into the legal profession, or how was your experience?
Yeah, I think people don't realize how world changes. I think, as we say, telecom has brought some revolution. We can't think of a world pre 2007-8 when nobody was having mobile. I think law profession has also evolved in last 20 years. It was not the same as today, where you do your internships and then join law firms. I studied in Ahmedabad, and it was a natural course to simply go to courts and start practicing. And when you ask me how did I get my job, it was just like walking in the corridors of the High Court and somebody referring me to somebody else, and the lawyer saying, okay, there is some space in the office, there is no space in the office, why don't you come tomorrow evening and start? And that's about it. That's how I joined my first law firm, which was Singhi and Company in Ahmedabad. And to be honest, I think I definitely had some thought at that point in time that I wanted to practice commercial and corporate laws. And at that point in time, when I did a little bit of study on my own in terms of the law firms there and the senior advocates and others, I was very keen to join this firm, Singhi and Company, and it was sheer luck that I could find somebody who knew there, some senior partner there, and it was just a matter of one conversation, and next day I started working with that firm. So it was that easy in a way, but it was also by that time I had decided the kind of work that I want to do as a lawyer. So it was easy to decide that I wanted to join that firm.
Just share me top 3 qualities that you look at your team members while you select them, or when you want to promote them, elevate them to the higher position. What are those 3 special qualities that you look at them?
I think obviously there are many elements, and everyone is different. Everyone brings a different perspective and different value to the team and to the practice and to the firm. But I think in these times, and this changes in my view every 5 years or every 10 years. I think the qualities and the elements change, and you have to change if you want to grow as a person, as a profession. But I think 3 things which I would feel are very critical for a lawyer is, I think first is logical thinking. I think I try and see whether you are interpreting law or whether you are discussing personal matters or anything, right? Or even talking rubbish as we do it on corridors. But I could sense, or I would like to sense whether the person is thinking logically, because the moment you start thinking logically, it is more often than not you will succeed as a lawyer. Second is I don't see law. Sorry, I don't see law as a working in an office or some like an employee or otherwise. At the end of the day, whether you are in a law firm or whether you are a practicing lawyer in court, at the end of the day it's a profession. And yes, you want to take a break, you want to maintain your work-life balance. That I'm not at all against that kind of a thought process. But I think law as a profession is a 24/7 job. If people want to look at this as a work and try and say that okay, this is the time when I will do law and not in this time, that doesn't work. I think as a normal journey in life, a law stays with you all the time. So I like that kind of a quality where people want to excel as a lawyer, and rest of the things obviously follow. And the third element is the flexibility which a person brings in as part of the thinking process. If you are stuck in a situation where you say okay, this is the law and that's end of it, right? I think your mind has to be flexible enough to accept the newer concepts, the newer socio-economic situations. Law is always evolving, law is always changing, and you have to think it in that direction. Then only you can evolve and create some jurisprudence as you go along, rather than simply follow what was there in the past. So I think those are the softer elements which I look at it in terms of how person thinks about the law as a profession. The other elements are the normal ones, which obviously you have to do hard work, you have to be disciplined, you have to be reading case laws and going to courts and things like that. But I think those are given. But the softer elements are something that I look closely.
How did you get that zeal to come back to office every day and perform and do your best? What's the recipe for that?
I think if I may say, it's something that we see every day. Like we see Nishith by, having that excitement and zeal after so many years, and even if I, get distracted, just talking to him once, brings you back, in order, that there is so much, that one can do. So I think first of all, from a profession perspective, is an inspiration by itself, and for many, and not only me. But personally speaking, I think the uh, the hunger, or the element that you want to make a difference. As I said earlier, it was something which drew me to this profession, was you are making a difference in somebody's life, or some entity's business or otherwise. But now I think, as you grow, you look at it from a perspective that you are actually able to bring some difference in the ecosystem as well, right? In a broader sense, and that ability to contribute, and the inspiration that you draw from other people who always think of going to the next level the next day, right? There is never a journey which ends at a particular point. It's always, there is always something to achieve next day, something to go little 1 inch further, or going little beyond. I think that is something which keeps me going. And maybe in a lighter note, I think, while I enjoy a lot of other things equally, but I don't have anything where I feel so passionate as I feel when I am working as a lawyer, or I'm thinking as a lawyer. So it's more of a lifestyle now for me rather than anything else.
From a professional young lawyer's perspective, what do you want to share that what they should focus at this juncture?
I think there are two kinds of young students or young lawyers I see. One who are very focused and comes with a completely blinded mind, that okay, this is the only thing I want to do, because right from day one they have access to a lot of information, and they make up their mind very early on. And the other category of students I see these days is, they have no clue. They are completely open in terms of what they want to do, and they move between different professions, and they move different practices, and they take a lot of time to find their bearings. I think what I would suggest, or at least the way the profession is growing, I think, as we were talking, there is a constant change, the way the law profession is growing, right? What was a sunshine practice 10 years back or 15 years back, whether it was real estate, practice in a particular way, versus documentation, and then came technology, and then came other things which developed the legal profession. I think what I would suggest, one thing to the young students is, keep an eye on the future, right? I think don't go by a simple suggestion that look, this is what is working today, and therefore you spend all your time and effort only developing yourself for today. In that sense, I think the world is all about now future, and keeping an eye on the future, and then navigating your likes and dislikes in that fashion and in that manner, is what I would suggest a young student to do. And I'll give you a little different example, but if you had asked anybody in 60s and 70s what you want to do, everybody would have said maybe medical, right? Because that was the flavor, everyone used to do it, go outside India and things like that. Then in 80s, I think everybody wants to become an engineer, because that was the flavor. Then somewhere down the road, became chartered accountancy and MBA. I think I remember those days, there were no seats available. And then came time where, MBA colleges were going empty. And same thing happened with engineering. At some point in time, civil engineering and mechanical engineering were, the flavor of the season, and then became, computer engineering, and then information technology, and now data science. So I think there is always this, flavor of the season, but that may not be something which you are, enjoying doing, or you just want to follow because that is something which is, sunshine, practice at that point in time. Follow what you love, but keep an eye on the future. I think that's a short, advice.
Thank you, Vyapak, for your time in the chamber section and sharing your valuable, inspiring thoughts. Now we are meeting you in off the chamber section to know more about you, who you are as a person. Over to off the chamber section. So, if not lawyer, what you would have loved to be?
Yeah, so I have obviously gone through many decisions before becoming a lawyer. So I think it's hard to think about it. But one profession which fascinates me, which I would love to do even now or maybe later in the part of my life, is acting. And it's not about being an actor and the glamour which comes along with it, or the the other things which are attached to acting as a career. But I think what fascinates me as an actor is the ability and the opportunity to play different characters, go into the skin of different characters, behave like different characters, think like different characters, and that whole element that you can be somebody else is what excites me to become an actor.
So usually in everybody's life there is a phase when you have to make igloo out of a coconut shell, or you have to make a wind turbine for daughter. Have you done that for Swara?
So I think not that I have done a lot of things which any parent would always feel that you have not done enough for your child. So I think same feeling for me. But I think I have done a fair share of my time with my daughter. Of course, my travel and my work does not allow me to do everything which I would wish for, and I would thank my wife to take care of it. But I have been part of her shows when she she's a good gymnast.
Wow.
And she is also pursuing ballet. So I do take out time, particularly now with COVID. I get little better time taking her at least to the place and come back. At least those are our moments.
Correct.
Together. And now she's turning almost 14 this year, so it's the right age also for me to have those conversations. So yeah, that's my journey.
That's nice.
With her.
So an actor and then a ballet artist and gymnast. Any thoughts about her career as a lawyer?
I doubt. It's like never say never, or careers evolve as has evolved in my life. But looking at her attitude and aptitude, I don't think she is inclined at the moment towards becoming a lawyer or a chartered accountant. I think she is more of a at one end she is a little creative person, or creative arts like dance and other things, but on the other hand she enjoys studying biology and human body, the elements around it and things like that. So I see she may turn into a very different person than her parents. but it's too early to say.
How would your wife audit your balance sheet?
Yeah, I think she's a chartered accountant, so that comes naturally for her to audit, my numbers or my balance sheet, as we say. But I think this would be one balance sheet which I don't think she would be ever able to tally. I think for her everything is debit, for me everything is credit to her. So I think this is one balance sheet which will always remain one-legged, uh, you know, uh, financial statement rather than a tallied statement.
Vyapak, it was such an interesting conversation with you, and thank you for sharing your experience and your thoughts about life of a lawyer and you as a person. Thank you for your valuable time again.